Well, time for this sketchbook tour finally. It's taken as long to record, well, to get to recording since finishing the sketchbook as it actually has taken to finish the sketchbook. So I bought the sketchbook in grade 9, as when you can see I drew this lovely South American anteater here, about 15 or so. And then it pretty much went untouched for years until my matric year, which is when I was 18, final year of high school. That's when I started, with some of these drawings. This was only at the end of matric, and that was also a bit sort of, I was really like having fun with form every here and there. As you can see, style sort of was still bit stiff, working on getting better. I really loved to have fun with figures and form, curvy things. I was, exploring these sort of things. That was a, sort of stiffer thing again. And that's a little dressage diagram there. Weird person. And here is when I started drawing in this book, first year varsity last year. This was with this calligraphic marker that I got at the stationery shop on campus. That was where I got my first brush pen, actually, which was a Pentel ink brush pen, which you'll see feature later. Now this is also quite often featured. It was just one random evening I had this random thought in my head and I just went with it. Some horses here, some profile, little experiment with straight lines. And this was also sort of experimenting more with Art Nouveau style. It was this golden, I think it was a weird horse breed like Akeltique or Mawari. I just got in the metallic markers, as you can see previously, and was having such fun with them. Some horse gestures. I normally like to do these quick 2-minute gestures, because then at least I can do like 10, drawings and fill up a page and still practice instead of like not doing anything at all. This is still beginning of last year. And this was something I just drew from my head. I was going for like an earlant or something, which is like this humongous buck here in South Africa. But I was just going for something heavy. I mean, earlant is it's got a humongous, body and all that. They're one of the biggest antelope out there. It's spelled eland, for those curious. Oh, and this is when I started getting into bunnies. Well, hares specifically. Doing little detailed drawings of them. And these were the first detailed studies I actually did the whole year. In red lead technical pencil, and these were just some characters for sort of story I think of in my free time. More characters, pony, and here's a couple of nice horse sketches. That's a bit more like cartoony there. It didn't come out quite how I thought they would. Seeing how the Copic markers take on this paper, because on the other paper I have is quite thick. Brush pen, and that was just like this random dog. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. I was just like, I'm gonna draw this sort of fox thing and make it all weird. That was experimenting with these water soluble markers, but I don't like them quite as much as the fantastic Mr. Fox. And some of my favorite pieces here. This lovely greyhound I did. This pony. He'll never get his foot. I can't find a reference. And here's some little dogs. Another couple of horses I'm very proud of, in ballpoint pen and brush pen. And I think this is where I started drawing this book this year, because I remember making these sketches in the room I'm in currently. Some deer, some African wild dogs, thinking to, actually sort of theme these things. I think I was trying to go for Dachshunds, puppies here, I'm not too sure. I'll get to the flip side just now. And some llamas, just experimenting with combining the alcoholic-based Copic markers with the ink-based Pentel markers. Yeah, that was just like here's a quick portrait, and then that's I just sort of had this, I took my zodiac sign is a Leo, so I just, went and took the constellation and drew a line onto it. Cheetah, greyhound, beginnings of a pine marten that never quite saw the end. And now I'll take you through the flip side of this book. This was some noses practice. I think it was out of a book somewhere. These are studies of Claire Wendling's hair sculptures. Oh, and a deer. Beth Kavanagh Stitcher, sorry. Claire Wendling is another illustrator I absolutely love. But these sculptures by Beth Kavanagh Stitcher, she's one of my favorite artists. It's a completely different medium, but love it. I love the sort of use of, I don't know, the way the clay comes, it's almost like form, becomes line. It's weird to describe for me. I don't always draw on the flip side. Very wasteful of paper. Tisk, tisk, Lily. Some bad random people that I think I must have drawn like when I was half asleep. But yeah, that was just very faint facial bits. Here's another bit. Also in polychromos color pencil. I have to admit, I much prefer drawing in color pencil than actual pencil. I think it's partially because I'm so lazy that, well, I don't really like erasing things, and I don't like the smudge that graphite gives, and I've gotten so used to being more on line than, like my style has evolved, that I've incorporated a line, lines into form, and the sort of like old normal rendering sort of style doesn't appeal to me anymore. Like I like to use line to describe things, that sort of ties in, I suppose, with the brush pen that I've been doing this year. That was this random gerbil thing I just drew from my head, and also a random bear from my head, and a quick costume whilst I was watching a movie, and a horse, some Dachshunds, woo! I have to say, they're so full of medical problems. I was just talking to some other, older students, because I'm studying vet. I'm only in second year, so that's just anatomy, physiology, all the basics. But the older students, basically in all the clinical cases, if it's not a Labrador or a German Shepherd, it's probably a Dachshund. So if you have any medical problem and one of the exam questions is, what's the breed disposed to this condition? Those are your three top picks: Labrador, Dachshund, German Shepherd. Irish Setter, Collie. I'm very proud of that. That's the first Irish Wolfhound I've drawn that I'm actually very happy with. This was earlier this year. So Irish Wolfhounds are just so full of hair. I'd love one though. Just need the space and the money to feed it. More dogs. Absolutely love drawing greyhounds and whippets though. They're so easy. They're so not full of hair. These are some quick foals earlier this year. Some ballpoint studies. Another Beth Kavanagh Stitcher sculpture. I think I actually looked at that before. This was, I think, another artist. Study of her. Then the rest is just random. Another Beth Kavanagh Stitcher, actually, I think. I'm not sure, actually. Another dog. Some random sketches earlier this year, just like fill up the book. Dragons, I absolutely love dragons. And an absolute fail at Toothless. Judgmental looking unicorn. Ferret or pine marten? I'm not sure. Then on the absolute final page, some dogs, a cow, and I think that's a deer butt that's missing a head. Yeah, thanks a bunch. And I hope you found that somewhat bearable and good, nice to look at. Bye.